right. So Bushiroad released or finally released the VODs from Worlds, and you know, I've been waiting for this because I actually ended up going on stream round 3 against the champ from Mexico. So I kind of wanted to, you know, go into a little analysis on our game because there was a lot that happened. So, you know, I'm going to pause the video here and there to kind of explain things, what me and him were talking about, or why things happened, and, you know, just go over my decision making in the game.
That
So I'm gonna start the match
on
here,
top.
and, you know,
And that's a card that's kind of popular in multiple builds. So with just that, it's
kind
a
of
little hard to work out what we've got on the matchup
reevaluate,
table
you know,
here,
kind of
but
go back
I guess
in
we'll find
time.
out as we go. So starting off, I think we've got Jose clocking that 2-2, ready to set up that standby play.
Yep, he is
And
ready
puts
for a level 2
0
standby.
Eris in the beginning. So
He
that's
has a level
card
1
colloquially
target.
known as a Fuka, which means that when it goes
Did
to the
he
waiting room,
have
you can discard a card
climax
and
in
look at the
hand?
top 4 cards for a level 1 or
He
higher
did, and
card,
decided
specifically
not
character.
to?
So you can add
What?
events to and add it to your hand.
Yeah.
Okay, pause. Okay, I play Mushoku. I actually qualified with Mushoku. Two things I would have done here. I would have probably mulliganed a little bit more aggressively. Because if you start out with 2 climaxes, it's actually not a bad thing with standby. And you have a standby target. And I think I saw the wrong standby in his hand. So mulliganing, if you mulligan a little bit aggressively, like let's, I don't know what he started out with, but you increase your chances of trying to get into the right climax, or just a standby in general. I mean, you get a lot of value off that. But I would have 100% standbyed out the level 1, because I'm not dealing with it anytime soon. I'm not going to be able to deal with that 1-0 Ghislaine until level 1, maybe, you know. So don't exactly agree with that line of play. I would have definitely standbyed her out.
Fuka or rather Fukajiro is the long form, right?
Yep.
So I did sneak a peek there at the waiting room for Walfrin and did see 1 Marine climax.
Yep.
Okay, so
I think it was an interesting choice by
aquas, so
Jose
I
to
clock
place
one
the
aqua,
Eris in the
'cause,
center
I mean, you
slot
only
as
have
his
one center
opening.
lane.
Hololive, obviously a deck that really wants to put the Aqua level 0 in the center slot in order to utilize that
This is
extra
true.
3,000
This is true. I
power,
do
but
want her in
instead
the
we are actually
center,
seeing a
but
pretty
he didn't
uncommon
wanna give it to
pair
me.
of level 0s in Hololive, which are the Coco, which allows
I do run 19
which will allow
level zeros,
Walfrin to
so
move
this
one of his
is,
characters to the
not a
back
hard
row
thing
in
to
order
do
to
on
reuse
turn
it again.
1. You know,
We
the
will see that in
triple
just a
lane,
sec.
Triple.
Funnily
attack.
enough, because Jose decided to put his level 0 in the middle, it
Whoa, does
stopped
he-
Wolfrin from having both the clean cut and the 3-5.
Wait, pause. What is going on here? He has the Eris, that's a Shiori, on death, first deck. He has the option to mill 4 and chooses not to. And he has a level 1 Eris in hand and a standby. And a possibility to draw into another standby. So, I mean, I don't know. I mean, it could be playstyle. You know, there is something to say about when one player plays the same deck, another player plays the same deck and plays it a different way. But you have the option to mill 4 for free. Even if you mail out 1 or 2 climaxes, that still brings you closer to your second deck. I don't know. So he decides not to do that. You know, that's, I mean, I don't know what he's thinking,
on
but
the Aqua active.
I would have definitely taken
So
that play.
it, you know, possibly even unexpectedly for Jose, it did work out arguably better for him. So that is a bit of a
Okay, so he gets a
point here.
Rudy runner.
Yeah. The other level 0 present in Walfrin's front row is the level 0 Hato, or Hachima, as like the fans
the fan base
love to call her. So she has 2 effects. First of all, on attack, she can give 1,000 power to one of your other characters. This obviously has great synergy with the Coco that we just looked at. And her other effect is when she is reversed, you can look at up to 3 cards from the top of your deck and add up
is
to
true,
1
because
climax
this
from
is-
among them, add it to your hand. if you added a card to your hand, you discard a card. So it's a great way to costlessly mill through the deck and potentially add those needed climaxes.
Also gives plus 1k power to my Klinkas.
To your hand. And so here on the Mushoku side, we are seeing the Ruijerd being used to search for the 1/1 Heiress and set up for the next turn. And with plenty of cards in hand in order to allow Rudius to maintain that 3,500 power, we will see both the Coco and the Hachima getting reversed this turn.
Pretty interesting that Jose decides to make 3 attacks here using the level 0 Rudius, the one on the side over there. Typically, it's a card that doesn't really go towards the front row attacking process, due to both of its abilities being power pump.
Okay, pause. So my opponent has a climax in hand, has a standby target out, probably wants me to cancel here, but wants to at least clear a lane, right? So he's conceding the level 1 game right now. He's conceding the level 1 game because he's about to level up. If he gives me a chance here, I'm probably going to attack 3 times again. But he's conceding and playing into a level 2 turn with 2 level 1 heiresses and standbying out again, at least guaranteeing 1 standby Galen that will put them at 8-5. Cool, I guess. But if he's, I understand the thought process of it, but I probably would have standbyed here anyways. To top check 2 and I would have popped back the Rudius, top check 2, guaranteed to trigger 1, or at least know if I'm going to attack twice anyways. Because if, let's say for example, he plays climax bounces and he has 2 triggers on top, right? If he has 2 triggers on top, then you know that you can't level lock me, because I'll take 2, put me to 0-5 clock, put me to 0-6, and then I'll just play over my level 0 Aqua and put myself to level 1. So not sure what he's thinking here, other than hoping that I cancel, I guess, or he's either hoping that I cancel or hoping that he doesn't trigger. Those are the only thing that's really like
other characters,
makes
especially
sense.
The second one would return it.
So no trigger, I cancel anyways. So
when you play
now,
climax.
so now I'm curious. He has the option to stop here and level lock me, but I think it looks like he's about to attack.
That's an Okayu gold bar.
That is an Okayu gold bar indeed.
So double no trigger, really lucky there. My God, that was luck. If he would have triggered there, it would have been really bad for him.
This seems... Oh, I think we just saw a Sora.
Oh, you know what? I think it might not have been a Marine climax that we saw a peek at earlier.
All right.
Okay. So now, so as this turn is happening, I remember this turn. This is where I guess the chat started to talk, or the chat started to pop off, or that's what my local said in the Discord, like, oh, what's going on. There's going to be a misrepresentation of power on my opponent's side. So I'm gonna draw here, and I'm gonna ask my opponent for power stats. So I think I gesture at one
Still
point.
not that many climaxes, which means for us
because I'm taking my turn, doing autopilot stuff, clocking, means that draw 2.
He also doesn't know what the deck is quite yet. So.
All right, we actually do have the list now. Let's go ahead and take a look at that. These are some very interesting cards that we're seeing here.
And I'm about to ask him how big his card is, because if you see the top of my if you see my hand, I'm about to play Brainstorm. My thought process is, okay, if Rudy's 3-5, then I'm gonna Brainstorm and I'm gonna see what I get. If I hit, I get the Hato that pumps 1k to center, so I'll be 4-5 with the Aqua, and I would kill the Rudius, so I would answer those 2 lanes, and if he's not bigger than Aqua, so if Rudy's at 1.5 or something, I don't know what his base power is. I think it's 1.5. Then I would get the clean cut and do the same play I did last turn and go for go for a free plus basically.
Oh, it was a Marine
So
Climax.
So add it to the center.
Looks like it's.
I'm looking at my
Okayu
hand.
Marin
Okayu Marine, yes, with blue at.
I think so I ask him here. I ask him how big is Rudy, and he looks at his hand, and he tells me smaller.
As the tertiary color here.
Okay.
Smaller. So he gestures there. He says he looks at his hand, and he points at Rudius, and he says smaller. Okay, and he's looking at his hand, and he miscounts, I guess. So I take my
Very
turn.
interesting build.
I'm
It's
not
some-
even. If you look at what I'm doing, I'm not even looking at his field. I'm talking to him and I'm looking at my hand because I'm planning for my turn.
something that we see every day.
So he tells me he's
So,
smaller.
we are
so
going to see the
so I just go
Luna
for,
3-5
a
Climax
clean cut
swap
play
coming
here.
down, as well
I play
as
my brainstorm.
a couple
I mill
other
four.
level zeros. We have, of course, the infamous
I
Aqua
hit.
levels.
I hit, and now because he told me he's smaller, I get the clean cut, right? I mean, that's obvious. I win all 3 lanes and plus.
0. She has the.
If he said, again, if he said he was 3.5, if he says, oh, I'm 3.5, then I still get over because I get the Hato, put it in the Rudy lane, and put the Climax swap in the Rudius lane.
Same effect as the Escanor that we have seen throughout the last couple games with 7 Deadly Sins, although, funnily enough, I don't think in
Wait,
either of those
do I
games we
get
actually saw any of the
clean cut?
Escanors resolving.
Yes.
I
I
think
get
the
the
only
clean
time
cut.
it came out on the board, it was answered by a card that kicked it
Play
to
the clean
the
cut.
stock zone
Mhm.
and didn't let it resolve its ability.
And go to attack.
Yeah, so.
This might be the first time we see it, as it looks like the 2 cards in the middle are matched in power,
Mhm.
and that is
3,500 power to 3,500 power.
Yep.
Aqua, so apart from having the same abilities that Escanor we looked at, while she's in the front row
Okay,
center
so
slot, she gains
I'm
an extra
com-
3,000
so
power,
then-
bringing her up to 3,500 and
so then,
allowing her
so
to
then I
match the
confirm, okay,
Rudius. Now,
he's-
the
he's-
real question
smaller, he
here,
says.
in
Yeah,
my
he's
opinion,
smaller.
is will this Coco move Aqua to the back row, or will it move the Luna to the back row?
So, looks like the middle was higher power.
I don't think it should be, or maybe just not resting the card in preparation to just move it to the back
Hello?
row. Jose has only 5 cards in hand, right? Or he does have 5 cards, right?
I believe so.
I think he does, because when I
he-
paused, I mean,
His runner
I mean,
survived
whoa,
for
whoa, whoa.
1 turn, and he
that was a little fast.
he
1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so he does have 5.
his runner survived for
just
1 turn, and he should have had 9 in hand with
Miscounted?
pick off throws as well.
What the
so
hell?
Yeah, I believe his hand size should.
I'm just gonna. I mean, I have no way of knowing what actually was going through his head, but I mean, it could just be down to the pressure of the stage. You know, you're on stream, and we had a little banter, like going back and forth, because they had to set up the stream before our match, and he was on his phone, and he was like, "Oh, my friends will never believe this. You know, we made it, we did it." So he had his phone out, and he was like, and he did like, I guess, I don't know, maybe it was a TikTok or something, but he recorded himself saying, "Hey, you know, I'm on stream." So he was really happy about it, and I think that was the first time he's been on stream. I mean, he has no idea that I'm on stream every single week at my locals. I do content creation on my channel for this game, for other games. I've been on stream for fighting games when being a part of the fighting game community. So me being on stream is no problem for me. But I mean, he could have been feeling the pressure here, because I don't know how you miscount your hand 2, 3 times.
Definitely be at least 5.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
And I guess at this point, the chat is popping
Yeah, the
off.
Sora Brainstorm doesn't have any
So, I think
any
a
assistance
judge
in
will come
helping
in
the
soon.
Aqua to get higher power, so that Aqua
and
should have
kind
gone
of-
to waiting
and just
room.
Yeah, I
address
believe that
this-
should be a
I mean,
match in power.
Basically, ask my opponent the same question I asked him.
All right, we'll be seeing
Which
a
was
couple
how
copies
big,
of Eris.
Rudy, how big?
The 1/1 Eris being a 7/5 climax combo, where when you play the climax, you mill 2 and then salvage a character whose level is equal or lower than the sum of levels of the cards you milled. And then we're also going to see the transition into the 1/0 pendant event. So this can only be played while you have...
Okay, so let me think here. So why is he getting this card from the pendant? I guess I guess I'll pause it after
Roxy on stage,
I figure
and then
out
allows you to search your deck for any character and then discard a card. So it's a -1, but eventually, while the pendant is in memory, when you level up, you can send the pendant back to your waiting room, and it allows you to search your deck for another character. So it results...
Okay, so he ditches the Eris early play that burns 1 and keeps the Brainstorm, but he already has a Brainstorm in play. And if he's lacking, if he's thinking about board, he has the level 0 in the back row. You don't want to play anything else here, so why is he? Unless he wants to mill out next turn, but he's only on 1 stock, so I'm not sure what the thought process is. I mean, I am a Mushoku player. I'm just trying to think, like, what is the thought process here? Like, why did he get that?
Results in a 2-for-2, albeit slightly delayed. Let's go ahead and take a look at that event real quick. It is quite a bit of a wall of text, but definitely a very powerful card nonetheless.
Okay, okay, wait a second. Wait a second. Okay, he had the option. He had the option to get Climax Swap, right? I don't know how many Climax Swaps he has, but he does have a stock. So he could have done Pendant, search for Climax Swap. Climax Swap? Does he have a... Well,
and we're seeing here...
I'm not sure if that's true. I'm not sure if he had the level 1 combo in waiting room. So, but if he didn't, I mean, I still would have gotten the Climax Swap in case I drew into the wrong climax the following turn, right? Because I'm not getting over the Erises.
The incorrect climax for Mushoku, actually.
Okay, then the judge comes over, and this is where the chat, I guess, is popping off.
So, not the Eris combo, but is going to be bringing out that 2/2 Ghislaine, a very powerful card that we did not see in the previous list due to it being on the restriction list with the Rudius 2/1 counter.
I mean, I think
so. This Ghislaine is a 2/2 global 1K, while also being a very powerful card herself. And I think we might be seeing the Aqua going to waiting room being corrected here.
Nope. I'm smaller. And then I'm like, wait.
Yeah, I believe
you get the power if you have 5 hand. Did you have 5 hand?
Condition fulfilled as.
And
I don't believe he's played
like,
any more than 3 cards in the first 2 turns of the game. And with 2
so then another judge comes around.
The 5
and he's
original
like,
hand plus 2 clock draws should
what
go to
happened?
9.
So now you have a dilemma. Do you punish? Do you give both of us a warning? Or because I asked my opponent and I told them that I asked him, and now if there is a way to confirm that he did have 5 cards in hand, then are you gonna let me go back to my turn and pick up the Hato to make sure I get over? Are you gonna go that far back? Because that will change a lot of things. Because now I have the option to mill 3 on his turn if he decides to reverse my Hato, right? So what is the call here on him misrepresenting his own card?
So his 3/5 power conditions should have been active.
Yeah, I believe so.
And we're like this deep in, right? Also, another thing, if I did choose to just get the clean cut anyways, then I would have still clean cut the Climax Swap to the back row, and I would have just sided the Rudy, and then he would have standbyed because he would have had a full field because he wants to pen it in memory. So then he would have had to stand by over something because he would have had a full field with the Rudy still being in play.
Not sure what.
So the judges at this point decide to play on, because I mean, this is maybe like 3 weeks since the event. So I'm not even sure if they had the VODs to refer to anyways, because there is a way to confirm that. You just kind of like look at the VODs, right? You look at the archive, you look at the VOD, and you check, did he have the cards in his hand? I don't know if they had access to that type of that type of technology, kind of basic technology for me. I mean, when I stream, I could go back and, you know, confirm anything I want, you know, at any point in time. But I guess they make their videos private or whatever.
I think this Aqua will just be.
Okay, so he decides to attack center anyways, and I cancel on one. So it doesn't even matter.
Making a delayed trip to the waiting room.
Alright,
Okay. Now, I don't know if this is a mistake or not. I cancel on one, and he tries to attack again for one. Correct me if I'm wrong here. Wouldn't the better play be to attack with the Roxy second? Because I just canceled on one, and I'm gonna be at level 1 anyway, so you want to do damage, right? The most damage you can. So me being the Mushoku player, and also let's say for example you trigger standby on your second attack, because he attacked with the Eris second, the 1/1 Eris. Let's say for example he triggered standby there. Well, you're gonna probably end up standbying in the back, right? Because you don't want to standby over your other attacker that's going to generate you stock, that's going to generate you damage on your opponent. So not sure why he decides to attack in this order. I guess we'll find out now if he gets punished or not, if he triggers standby on his third attack.
Alright,
Okay, so forgot that he is okay. Still the wrong order, in my opinion. So he plays standby. The Roxy in the back row, that's a Brainstormer, gives twin drive to something. Why didn't he give the twin drive to the Roxy that's in front of my clean cut and attack with the Roxy second? That way, if you trigger on the Roxy, or if you trigger on the Eris, you can play over the Roxy. Or if you trigger on the Roxy, pay one in the Eris lane to pay out the climax.
Alright, looks like we're just continuing as is.
Instead, he clean triggers twice, and now he twin drives, increasing the chances of him triggering climax here, increasing the chances of you getting rid of your Roxy Brainstorm in the back row that can give you advantage, or at least card advantage.
So
okay. And what I say. And he twin drives, so he's gonna bury the climax. So I don't know. Not optimal decision making there. Again, probably nerves.
looks like they're just making the attack.
And I'm just looking at this going like, bruh, what are you doing?
Well, Jose has set up his board in a more or less ideal way.
Whoa, did he just
Jose
not
has
stand by anything?
set up his board.
He has a 1-0 in the back. He has a 1-0 at the very bottom of his waiting room there. It's you can tell it's the Ghislaine. Why? And And that's the like has like a little like Ricky effect where you clock yourself on reverse, top check 4, add a character. Why doesn't he stand by? So he decides to pass on the standby, but why doesn't he stand by over the Roxy in the back row?
Forward. In a more or less ideal way for the
Not
Mushoku
sure.
deck. Aside from the,
And I
the
cancel
fact that he
anyways,
wasn't able
okay.
to use the level 1 combo. But that's
Cool.
fine. I think his level 1s are going to be surviving here. Okayu hits around, I believe, 7,000 power with
Okay.
climax.
7,000.
Yeah,
Do
7,000.
aqua things,
So
you
it's
know.
going to need an additional 1/5 power
Plus
in order
hand.
to contest the level 1.
I
which
already
don't
have
think will
a
be happening,
brainstorm in my
at least
clock,
not on
so
2
there's no
rows here.
point in.
So Jose sits pretty
There's no
comfortably,
point in
and I
putting
think he
2 out
starts
there,
looking
so
for
I
ways
just decide
to
clock that and level
use the
upgrade.
stock that he gains in the end game.
Yeah, I think the card that Walfren is really going to be looking for in this particular matchup is actually the 2 copies of the Marian Reverser.
Okay. Shoutouts to the commentators. They're right. Right now, I'm thinking, where are my level 1 bombs? And I'm gonna clock here red.
Which is
'cause I
definitely
wanna see them,
not
or I
a
wanna
common
have
pick.
a chance to see them.
So she has a level 1 or lower.
Another possibility is clocking and drawing into my 1-0 polka that can summon the level 1 bomb. So there's a few lines here that I can use to get the card that I want.
Reverser ability, and in
I
addition,
draw
when
2,
she is sent
and
from
I
the stage
don't
to the
think
waiting
I
room,
get
you
it.
can discard a climax in order to salvage a Hololive trait character,
Okay, there's
which
the
can be
polka.
a very useful card if you trigger a bit
So
too many
I
gold
think
bars,
I revealed
as this
2
deck
polkas.
does run
There's still
those
Yeah.
gold
2
bar
in
climaxes.
deck
Absolutely
maximum.
possible.
Oh, I think I have
But-
1 in hand too.
Well, the fact that he's not immediately throwing them down gives me the impression that he's probably
Okay, I don't have it in hand.
not got them immediately available at the moment.
We do have a couple Okayus, though.
So I just
Yeah.
concede here.
Luna is going to be moving up to the front after being
I
saved
just
by that
concede lanes here.
Coco clean cut from the previous turn.
Mhm.
Will we see another card placed to the back row?
Probably not.
With
Still a bit of
point,
pondering. Looks
4
like
cards in
no,
hand.
unless you count that climax.
Yeah, there's not a...
Okay, attack. I mean, let's go over attack order here. Now I know I just kind of exposed my opponent on his attack order. Normally, this would be considered a bad attack order. But there's a couple reasons why I decided to attack front here and not side, and in this order. So reason number 1 is if I trigger gold bar, then then I blind stock, and it changes the amount of cards I look through with the Okayu combo, because I can look at up to 3. So if I trigger a bar, then I'll be forced to top check stop at 2 with the Okayu on my first Okayu. Otherwise, I would go through my deck and refresh without my climax. If I go through too many cards, I could also, declare 0. But I mean, why risk it? Why risk it? So I'm attacking with that first, for that reason. The other reason why I'm attacking with that first is because I just canceled twice on his last turn. So I have some damage to take without really getting penalized, because I probably shouldn't have canceled there. I wasn't expecting to double cancel there. I was expecting to cancel maybe 1 time, because I wasn't about to take 6 there. But no, I have some damage. I'm ahead in damage here. So, and he went first, so I'm working with that.
Huge
I know that I'm giving up damage by opening the lane here, by not siding, by not siding for 1. But my plan is to push damage here, and if he pushes damage back, I don't care, because I just canceled twice. So he's gonna have to push damage in at least 2 lanes the next turn. And if 1 cancels, then we just end up tied anyways. and I just don't clock on my following turn. So that's my train of thought there, because I'm about to refresh here. So in the worst case scenario, I take 3 lanes of damage and we're tied. That's the worst case scenario here.
Reason to play another card if you don't have to.
No,
He's on 4 cards in hand now, and so
Another thing, if my opponent watches this eventually, maybe he'll probably realize that, oh, I probably should have milled 4 for my first Chiori at this point.
2 Okayus are going to add 2, and it would
So
require
he takes 3
2
damage on my first
climax
attack,
triggers in order to reach that
and now
overhand.
my deck, because I could still trigger a gold bar.
And so that one sticks. This one is a front. This one goes over.
Yeah, another thing that I think is really nice about
Stop at
the
2,
Marine level 1 in this
right?
particular list is
Stop
because you're
at-
running the Okayu
go to
combo.
3.
So her climax combo with the gold bar allows you to
Get the
look it up to
events,
3 cards on the top of
trigger.
your deck.
So now, if I trigger, then I would have to choose to deny the blind stock if I trigger on my 3rd attack.
Choose one of them
A
to
gold
add to your
event.
hand and then send the remaining cards to the waiting room.
Mhm.
The really cool thing about this effect is that you don't have to show your opponent the card that you're adding,
Yep.
That's
and it is
true.
also able to add any type of card, including climaxes. So if you want more accessibility in your waiting room and you already have a Marine on the board that is going to be using her reverser effect and going to the waiting room, you can use Okayu's combo.
Okay, I'm just pausing here to kind of look at his compression here, because right now I'm expecting to deal damage. But taking a look at it, it's pretty 50-50. He's got, what, 3 in there?
To grab a climax,
4
even
in
though you
there.
might not actually want the climax itself.
So he's
And then when the Marine hits the
pretty
waiting room,
favored,
discard that climax and grab the card that you actually want from
and
your
he's
waiting
gonna
room.
take 1 out
Definitely a
from
lot
the
of
event
flexibility.
here.
Of
Another thing, let's see what he gets.
course, it's able to add climaxes too. You can just go for a second round of combo if need
Okay,
be.
so he decides to
Overall, I
get
think
the
it's a really
bond or
good
to
card
loop,
for
or to try to loop the,
looping your level 1
event
combo
and
and
hope to
sticking damage
cancel
while
here.
keep maintaining your hand.
He has 4 in deck, thin
hand
deck,
size.
pretty compressed.
Mhm.
This is
And
this should be a
Jose just
cancel.
took a bit of damage here. He's gone to level 2, but honestly, he's not in a bad position. His important characters survived. He has enough hand from what I can work.
Actually, he's not actually that favored to cancel as much as I think he is, because I'm gonna side for 1 or try to side for 1.
Out, and
On
he
attack,
refreshed with a decent
top
number
check
of
2.
climaxes. So
With plenty of control of the board, this is basically exactly what Mushoku Tensei wants. Despite taking all this damage, going to level 2 unlocks an entire additional level of standby targets. You can bring out those powerful level 3 characters now. And in addition, because your board has been preserved, you don't really need to be clocking anymore.
No,
you
you don't.
You can just kind of go into cruise control with these 1/1s and this.
Okay, he cancels on 1 anyway, so it didn't even matter. But he was it wouldn't be unexpected to have stuck a damage there.
2/2 Ghislaine, and then just use those to
Cancel
hold down
on
the
one.
fort and accumulate additional stock and hand while your board.
You know, now that I'm going back, what did I get? I think I got a copy of the combo. So I'm trying to loop combo here, but I think the better play might have been to get the level 1 bomb in case it like what I should have been thinking here is that best case scenario is that, because I'm about to refresh with all my climaxes, with all but one of my climaxes. So best case scenario is I cancel 2 times, because no way I'm triple canceling, right? We're not that good. And I'm still at level 1. So that card is good because when it goes to the waiting room, if I triggered a gold bar, I can ditch the gold bar to get anything back. So I probably should have gotten the level 1 bomb there, but I think I have a plan. I think I have a plan to get the climax back to hand here, or that's what I'm going for. I'm trying to loop combo.
Repeatedly, turn after turn, is not getting answered.
I think on the other hand, Orphan's also got quite a bit of stock there, and because his deck is playing the early play Noel, he can use that stock to start answering Jose's bigger characters.
Mhm.
Especially, I think he's refreshing just now, so with the way that his damage goes, unless he cancels a lot before he hits level 2, I think he can pretty comfortably deploy those nulls and fight the board back.
Yeah, so the Noelle level 3 being an early play if you have 2 or fewer climaxes in your waiting room, and then she has an ability where when she's placed on stage from hand, until the end of the opponent's next turn, after she's been placed, she gains an additional 4,500 power, and then during her battle, neither player can play character counters from their hand. That just allows her to beat over something uncontested while some...
Okay, pause. So, I'm curious what my opponent's line and thinking is right here. He drew and clocked. He drew, clocked, and didn't draw climax.
Until the end of the opponent's next turn, can play tested while simultaneously having their hand.
Does not have
that just allows her to beat over something uncontested while
So he should know, because he just canceled on 1 here. He should know there's 3 climaxes in deck.
simultaneously having some really huge power, which is exactly what you might want against a board-based deck, such as a standby deck like Mushoku.
So it looks like...
Okay. I remember now. Okay. So he has 3 climaxes in deck and a small deck. That last attack only took 1 out, and he drew none. So he has the option of attacking twice, and if he triggers 1, then you probably want to stop, right, and pass turn, because leaving me at level 1 isn't exactly the worst thing for you anyways. If you do that, then you guarantee at least 1 cancel of me swinging in 3 lanes with the amount of cards left in deck. How many? I mean, we're about to find out.
Jose just used the level 0.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. He's 3 and 8. And he's increasing the odds of him triggering here by getting a card out. You could just attack twice and pass, and even if you trigger on one of the 2 attacks, then you're still favored to cancel 2 attacks on my turn. And if you don't trigger, and if you don't trigger on the 2nd attack, and you trigger clean, and you go for a 3rd attack, then you're even more favored to double cancel.
The top card.
And with that knowledge, you can expect to stay at level 2 and just play the event next turn. So not sure what he's thinking here, because whatever he gets, he's gonna probably send to the waiting room, and most of his deck's in his waiting room, so he's not short on standby targets. So I'm really not sure what he's going for here. I mean, the crazy play right now would be that he's purposely trying to trigger for a bigger board, and you just plus, so that wouldn't exactly be the best decision either, because you just plus for free with the heiresses.
And bottom card of Wolfram's deck, and he's using the level 1.
I guess if he's already committing to this, I guess the best option would be to add the Roxy and then ditch something else that you don't need. The Roxy level 3, in case you get to level 3 and you don't have climax, you can play it. You can hard play it and dig 2 more.
Event that he has the condition for, as he's got 2.
What? Why? Not really sure.
He looks like it's shortcutting,
Why
so
he
he's adding
chose
the 2 to Gain to hand, and then immediately.
I mean, even okay. So let's say, for example, I just don't understand. I guess he has a different plan in mind. I'm not exactly sure
He's
here.
heading to the waiting room, setting up the waiting room, compressing the deck a little bit, and he'll get a free search when he levels up to level 3.
Okay, but you were gonna get the search anyways. Okay, what? Let's just see what he does,
Right.
or let's just see what he triggers, because I don't remember what he triggers.
Looking back at Walfrin's list, I do want to point out one card that I find particularly interesting, which is the Tokino Sora Brainstorm. So,
Okay. Oh my. Attack order, my guy. Jose, look, man. I'm not trying to blast you here. I'm trying to help you. And I guess trying to help all the other Mushoku players here because, or, I mean, again, actually, I don't even blame him. It's probably nerves. Explain this to me. You know you have 3 climaxes in the deck. You just thinned out your deck, which increased the chances of this happening. Now you have to stand by something. You don't have to stand by, of course. You don't have to stand by anything. But now you're expecting to stand by. So if you're expecting to stand by, why are you not putting the Ghislaine to the front row so that you can save her by standbying something out in the back row that would make her bigger or something like that? Which is probably why it would have been a better idea to just get the Roxy that pumps 2k to the front. So you're expecting to trigger climax. Put the Ghislaine to the front, right? And you're level 2, so you don't even worry about anti-change. I haven't shown you anti-change anyways. I'm at level 1 anyways. Put the Ghislaine in front of the Okayu. Move the Eris to the open lane. Move the level 0 to the back. She's done her job. She's looked at the top card, looked at the bottom card. She's got you the event into the memory. She's done her job. Just put her in the back row, and then put the Brainstorm behind the 2 Erises, so that when you do trigger climax, because you are, I mean, you're so compressed, you can stand by the Roxy that you didn't get that's still in the deck to the back, making your front row bigger.
Sora has a secondary effect where when your other character with Gen 0 trait is sent from stage to waiting room, you can pay 1 and sacrifice the Sora in order to bring back that character, and then give it 3,000 power until the end of the...
So he doesn't even have good standby targets because he didn't get the Roxy.
Opponent's next turn. But actually looking at... Oh, that is not the right card. There we go. That is also...
I mean, not the worst. Not the worst play, you know. I mean, standbying out your level 3 combo, not exactly the worst standby target.
Still not the right card. Can we...
I don't know. But you see what but I hope people realize what I mean. You could have had the same exact board, but bigger, and kept, and key here, you would have kept your Brainstorm.
Okay, sir. Surely this next time it will be the right card. So,
well, some technical issues, but let's just talk about the card.
Okay, bad luck. I take 3. Okay, cool.
For now.
Oh, what's funny is that if you were going to do that play anyways, I would have taken 3 here if you would have attacked with the Eris there, with the 1/1 Eris, and then pushed more damage with the Ghislaine that should have been in this center slot right now.
All right.
Instead, now you're pushing 1 or 2 damage, and he double triggers. Rip. That's a rip now.
Looks like that's a standby trigger there, and he will be bringing out a card. Jose has hit level 2, which means he can bring out any character.
You know, now that I think about it, I did say, maybe he did want this to happen. Maybe he wanted the triple trigger dream. Don't know why you would want that. But, I mean, it's happening. Or 2 at least.
What he wants? Looks like he's going to go with Paul
he does
here,
have a big board.
We talked about
2. Okay, so I take the 2. Cool.
about that card in the previous
And I
game,
level
but
up.
in case you weren't watching,
Little bad luck taking damage here.
he has inbuilt Twin Drive. That is, he can pay 1 to check 2 triggers on his own attack. He gives 1/5 to all characters in the front row all characters as long as he's in the front row. And when you damage cancel during his battle, you can discard a character upon sending a card with a soul icon to the waiting room from the top of your deck in order to...
Okay, so I'm thinking here. So what am I thinking here? I have the event in hand, so I can salvage any 2 cards. But my only blue card to level up is my only anti-change in the deck. So I'm doing this knowing I may regret it later.
return the same amount of damage that you just...
But I just try to sell it, you know, I try to be like, this could actually tell my opponent one of 2 things. One, if I take too long thinking there, then my opponent can say, oh, he doesn't want this card in clock. But I committed pretty, you know, without thinking too much about it. I kind of just chopped it up to bad luck, you know. It's my only blue card that I could clock there, and I'm not risking me just banking on taking damage this next swing. No. This could also signal to my opponent I may have another anti-change in hand, because like, why would I clock anti-change, right? If I know I'm playing against standby, right? It could mean one of 2 things. One, I need the color. 2, I have another copy in hand. I'm just bluffing here because I only run 1.
Cancel. So yeah, this is just more ways to build the board and you know, reflect the... Sorry,
And I take damage anyways. Cool.
to
So I take 7 damage in a compressed deck. Weiss Wars.
turn that board advantage into a win con. So, you know, as long as your board's surviving, you...
But that tells me that I'm compressed right now, and brainstorming is probably a hit.
get more compression.
But I have 7 cards in hand, and clocking. No need to clock here, right? I don't clock.
And as long as your board survives, your pull
Compressed here.
survives, and you can keep... As long as you cancel on pull, you can keep doing more and more damage. So, it is something your opponent has to deal with in this sort of scenario, and I think Wolfram probably knows that. So, he should be getting ready to play his... No, his... Return card. Anyhow, turn has passed back to Wolfram. Both of them have a decent amount of stock, but I think with the way that the game is going to progress, Jose should probably be on the upper hand in terms of stock over the next few turns. I think Wolfram's stock won't go up too much from here, whereas Jose's will. Unless that is damage sticks very unexpectedly in...
Little do you know, I play a little card that increases stock from hand.
one way. Anyhow,
So we're seeing the other early play in the deck apart from the Noel. This is the Fubuki level 3.
Yeah.
Another 2 or less early play.
Mhm.
But instead of being an extremely large body that wants to answer the board,
No, remember, I have not seen a backup up until now from my opponent.
she's just a healer that also...
Because normally that would mean I would side, but I have not seen a single backup for my opponent. So I'm pretty sure my
So
plan
gains
here is
1,000
to
power if
front
specific
all
condition are
lanes.
met. Oh, but we are also going to be seeing the Noel. She's
I go
going
for the
to
double
be...
early. So I go for the double, knowing that I'm not expecting a backups right now. I'm going for kind of a board wipe here. Double early play, answering 2 lanes.
pretty easily answering that 3-2 Paul.
alright.
And I check my opponent's
So,
climaxes
yep, it looks like
that he's out, because
looks like it's going to be a double answer here. So that
You
Noel
remember he
will
just
fight
double
over the
triggered.
pull, unfortunately. Plus, what's that? Sorry, yeah, Fubuki will fight over the errors. But because Jose has brought out the level 3 lane in the back row, I think he'll probably be able to just fill up his stage
so
again
right now
and fight over.
I'm expecting 2 things. 1, no backup. 2, staking damage.
The Noel. So, arguably, by playing out that pull with a standby, Jose has actually kind of forced Wolfram to use stock here, which Wolfram probably doesn't mind too much, seeing as his finisher is Marine and doesn't require that much stock anyway. But you know, it's better if your opponent uses stock, because Wolfram did have to provide a 2-stock answer to a card that Jose paid 0 stock for.
Okay, so I have Event in hand and Climax. So that's... My opponent might not have realized... Oh no, for sure he doesn't know. Because I added one of the events from the combo that I've been holding onto from the Okayu lane combo. So he doesn't know that I'm telegraphing. I'm already telegraphing my next play, which is looping my level 1 combo.
Alright,
Or at least have the option
yep,
to
the damage
loop
has
my level
stuck
1
there.
combo.
So
Depends
a
what I
little bit
get
unfortunate
with my,
for Jose.
with my
Jose does not
event.
have cards that can heal at level 2, nor does he have the rest counter, as he's opted to play the level 2 Ghislaine instead. So yeah, any damage being cancelled
And he takes the damage. My god.
is better, but not the end of the world. You can still make a comeback.
I'm pretty sure he's 5 out here right now. And he's got 2 in stock.
But I think he's gonna have to start looking at.
So the last one is either in his hand or in his deck.
How he's gonna end the game. Probably using the level 3 Ghislaine.
I asked him to look
Bit of
at.
a refresh
I
going here.
already asked him how
Yeah,
many.
unfortunately,
climaxes
not being able to use
I'm
that
just,
Paul
like,
to
confused how he's taking
leverage
this
any
damage,
counter
'cause
aggression.
where's his
Usually,
other
when you're in
climax?
a very strong position, the Paul can be.
So now I'm thinking one of two things. One, pass and let him draw into the climax. Or have my attack canceled, or take his bluff and have him guess that it's in his hand. But I'm really thinking about, and I mean, I've only triggered one so far, so the rest of my climaxes are still in my deck. So right now I'm thinking about passing, because if I front here, I will lose the lane and have him deal more damage back to me. So I'm thinking about passing.
A pretty oppressive card, as it forces your
But I decided to attack, because I think I need the stock.
opponent to go for more damage to try to catch.
And I trigger. I knew I was compressed. I went for it, triggered, happens. Because I just took 7 damage from my last turn. And only triggered once on my first 2 attacks. So, was bound to happen.
Up, but the Paul
And he cancels.
can potentially punish them for trying to go for that extra aggression by using his effect to deal damage back to your opponent.
Yeah.
But in this position, this is basically everything
sculpt for
that
level 3
you do
turn.
not want to see happening with your Paul. Not only did the damage get taken during Paul's
And
battle,
my
but also
opponent
he's just getting outright removed from the board. This is going to not only reduce your available aggression going into this late stage of the game, but it's also going to remove the power from the rest of your board and make it harder for Jose to
compressing with
come back against
damage on
Wolfram's
field is
pretty large
exactly
board.
the
But we're
best
going to
way
see the
to
3-stock
compress your
encore
deck.
here.
Yep.
Decides
for
to pay
Paul.
3 encore.
Which is something he can absolutely afford,
I
because
agree.
that 3-stock is a 2-stock character plus 1 card in card advantage, so it's absolutely worth it. And Wolfram also has to probably use another 2-stock out to deal with that. So overall in resource advantage, it's definitely worth it. And it's going to shuffle around his cards a bit to fight his board. Yep. And obviously in terms of damage, Paul does have a damage-related ability. So overall, I think that's a solid play, and it's definitely going to help.
Okay, so he knows he's not exactly well compressed here. That's why he's brainstorming, I'm assuming. Because I don't see him expecting to hit here.
Help him as it
But he hits anyways. Cool. Why Schwarz?
goes. And that's
And he's got a climax combo to work with.
it's 1 hit on the brainstorm. I think the level 3 Ghislaine would be what he's looking for, possibly Eris, but yeah, when you're
Yeah, just get the healer.
When you're playing this deck and you opt into the 2/2, as you can't use the accumulated resources, a defensive to pay off for your defensive cards, you probably want to get your combo just to be able to go double, possibly triple.
Let's see if he attack. Let's see if his attack order is good.
Triple combo, and end the game convincingly. Looks like he did get that level 3 combo. So, bit of a shuffle around. I think.
Okay, why? Same problem he had. The same decision he made the first time going around. The first time he was put in the same position. So he still has 4 climaxes in deck. But you can. But this is Weiss Wars. You can trigger at any time. So you should always be going into your attack phase expecting to trigger, because games got RNG. So here's my thing. Would you rather lose an Eris, or would you rather lose your 2/2 Galen? And you're about to be level 2, so even if you get your level 1 climax combo, you're probably gonna want to climax swap it. So what are you doing with the Eris? What's the Eris there for? Put the Eris to the back, bring the Galen 2/2 to the front. I would. What order was it? I don't think he can get. Let's see. No, I'm pretty sure the Galen with full field can get over. Oh yeah, for sure she can get over. The Galen level 3 can for sure 100% get over my early play. My blue early play. The other early play is just small, and the Paul is bigger than my Fubuki anyways. So explain this to me. Why not put the 2/2 Galen to the center to direct attack, then put the 1/1 Eris in the back, then put the Paul where the Fubuki is, and put the level 3 Galen where my blue early play is. That way, 1, you still win all lanes. 2, if you stand by, you'll stand by over the 1/1 Eris that's kind of useless now, and replace her with something else, which would probably be the other level 3 combo. But if you stand by now, or if you trigger standby now, you're gonna want to probably stand by in the back, because you don't want to not attack and not deal damage in one of your lanes and not get stock. So now you're gonna have to choose to stand by either your 2/2 Galen or your Brainstorm, and it's probably gonna be the Galen, right? Because you want to keep your Brainstorm.
What's that?
So yeah, not the order and or characters that I would attack with, or in.
So I think the Eris is.
And oh my god, it's like clockwork. But this game has RNG, so you play expecting it to happen. So now that it happens, he's getting punished for it. And this is the second time in the same game this has happened, when he's gonna make a decision to lose something he wants to keep in the back row, when he could have just stand by it over the 1/1 Eris that you don't care about anymore.
Yeah, it's not nearly big enough to fight that Noel, but because Noel only gains the 4,500 power for 1 turn cycle, it will reset back to the 9,500, I believe, base power that it has.
And I canceled. Thank God. Now remember, I had the option to mill into my deck with the Hato, the card that I had in the center that can mill 3 if you have a climax, add to hand, ditch card. The last thing that I did was trigger, so I could have gone a little greedy and looked at one, stop at one. But this is World Finals. We don't take risks. We don't play with greed. We don't play with our food. That's for damn sure.
Which is lower than
Shout outs to Jack in the Box. I like Jack in the Box.
what will be remaining on Jose's board, and it kind of becomes a non-threat.
Why? Did you guys see that?
What will be remaining on Jose's board.
Okay, this is when, I mean, I in my heart, I've already won. This is when I realize, oh, my opponent's, he's on tilt. He's feeling defeated here, because he just triggered Climax. Paul has Twin Drive. Twin Drive the Climax out. You have 4 left in deck. You probably won't trigger again, and you won't bury the Climax. So, and you're pushing damage. You want to push damage, I just canceled. Why don't you play the Climax out and push damage and not bury it?
Board, and it kind of.
I'm just gonna give my guy the benefit of the doubt and say that he forgot here. I mean, it wouldn't be the first time. But yeah, pay out the Climax, he did not do.
Kind of becomes a
Just go straight to the
so
trigger.
I think Jose is kind of just okay with giving the card back to Wolfram here. However,
Why would you be okay with me plussing here? Don't understand. Wait, and did he choose to not standby something out? Okay, so he hit standby on his first trigger. What were his options?
yeah, it's not nearly big enough to fight that
What were his options?
that Noel, but because Noel only gains
Okay.
the 4,500 power for 1 turn.
He had the option to standby out the level 3 heiress. That I don't know if she's on attack burn 1 if you reveal a character, or on play burn 1. Don't remember. But either way, she kills big things and she bounces back to hand when she gets reversed.
One cycle, it will reset back to the 9,500, I believe, base power that it has, which is lower than what will be remaining on.
And it would have been a no-brainer anyways, because you would have been replacing the heiress that's already done her job.
On Jose's board, and it kind of becomes a non-threat. So I think Jose is kind of just
rip.
okay with giving the card back to.
Oh, I cancel anyways. Cool.
However, Wolfram is having
So it
some
didn't even
comfortable
matter.
cancels.
And okay.
That's
And
a
now
comfortable one, and
And now you're left with 4 climaxes left in deck. And you just triggered and hit on the brainstorm. So I'm liking my odds on sticking damage. If I was my opponent and that just happened to me, I probably would have even sided here.
only the 1 sticks this turn. A bit tight.
Definitely okay with taking only 1 damage. From,
Yeah,
from
Wolfram's
all of
probably
that.
quite happy for that. Especially the level 2 coming back.
I mean, come on. Like I just said. I mean, my opponent should have picked up on the fact that I did not mill with my Hato, having the ability to mill out. If I just pass on that, that should like ring an alarm in your head. Oh, he's not doing the effect. He's probably compressed.
Sorry, the level 3 2-soul beta coming back. It's, as I said, it's not as effective as it was last time, but it is still nonetheless.
And knowing that I'm that compressed, or paying attention and picking up on that, you would go high for greed, maybe a little bit. But you would probably your attack order would probably change knowing that. If you're expecting me to cancel, you'd want to go low, low, high, you know. But instead he went high, higher. He went high, higher, low.
It's a card that is pushing more damage. So he probably doesn't mind that at all.
All right, let's see if we can get the right card this time. Let's see if it likes me. All right, we got it this
we
time.
got it. Here we
So the 3/2 Noel, just by being very large, not only allows you to contest a card on your opponent's board, but also allows you to maintain board defensively. And she also has an additional effect that sometimes can be used as like an off finisher.
Yeah.
Honestly, the Noel level 3 is not a super common card to see in the first place. So it's not very common that you see this ability getting used in Hololive in general, but it does have some pretty good utility if the opportunity arises. On attack, you can pay 2 stock, and then your opponent puts the bottom 3 cards of their deck into waiting room, and then you burn 1 if there is a climax. This is a bit of a variation on abilities that we see on some other cards, where those other cards, they burn X, where X equals the number of climaxes that were milled within the cards, but this one just burns for 1.
Yeah. In exchange for that, though, it does cost a little less than the typical ones, which actually do count the number of climaxes there, so I'd say it's a decent trade-off for a card that has another more major role. Anyhow, looks like Warframe is progressing his turn.
Using the 2-1 event to grab 2 and then discard 1.
Ah, that's right.
Yeah, and then one of the cards that was grabbed off of this was a Flare level 0, which I believe is the Drop Search, or Drop Salvage rather, and then it also has on play pay 2 to bounce a character, so we are going to be seeing that here to just get rid of the ball.
Yeah. But yeah, as it was last turn, that's another 2-stock play that Warframe had to make to get rid of Paul, so...
Okay, to the commentary team, yes, that was a 2-stock play I had to make. I understand that. But I need to pay out my climaxes anyway, so I might as well get some value off paying out my climaxes. And it's really good value right now because I bounced a card that he doesn't even have color for to replay. Bounced a card that could have also dealt damage back to me. And I have a card that answers his combo link. So not a bad choice of play here. The stock is important, but I mean, I needed to pay out the climaxes anyways.
Every time Jose is able to keep Paul on the board, it makes Warframe use stock to deal with it. So overall, like, even though it doesn't look like it's putting in work, I think it's putting in work
but I'm
in
also at 2-1.
kind of more unseen ways, let me say. So really, it's not a bad trade for him whatsoever. And as long as as long as Jose is able to put Warframe in range for his endgame, that is all.
Alright, so I just double canceled. So my game plan is go through my deck. So I might even brainstorm here.
Ultimately what matters.
Yeah, I definitely think that playing against Hololive Marine builds from behind like this is definitely a very delicate process, though, because if you're already at 3, you kind of want to try to get into a sort of game plan that puts them at late 2 and then just tries to kill them without letting them get to 3, because the moment they get to 3, they're going to be fielding all of these extremely powerful Marines against you, and that's just kind of asking for a hard time.
Yeah, absolutely. The numbers that Marine hits, so 2 per burn and 3 per swing, is pretty close, in fact, to what Mushoku does on the other hand, though. So as long as Mushoku can get a trigger or a direct attack, the main swing will also be 3. So I think he's probably going to want to cancel a bit more after this. But he does have a similar reach should he be able to combo. The number of climaxes in that deck is slightly worrying.
1 climax left. You know, this could be a Noel angle.
Could be, yeah.
We could see a if Walfrin decides to use that Noel effect into this deck. Should it hit that last climax, that's lights out, because it will be a burn 1 and the attack for 3.
Yep. Well.
Yes, that's true, but I was under the impression that there's no way my opponent does not have the climax combo, the climax in hand. So I'm expecting this attack to stick.
On the other hand, if it misses, it probably means that the...
So yeah, I'm also not expecting him to kill me from 2-1. So no, and I also didn't trigger. Now, if I would have triggered climax, we would have been considering doing the icy tail here for 2.
I don't know what else lands, so we're not sure how that'll go. And it looks like he is paying the stock.
No, not paying the stock. It is non-attack.
Oh, sorry, I'm getting confused with the stock and deck.
And my opponent cancels with the only climax he has. My god, good player.
Deck there, sorry. Alright, so it looks like, fortunately for Jose, that's a cancel there, but his front row has been answered. He only has 6 stocks, so he can go double combo at best. And he is on 3-3, so he will need to, he wants to heal 3, but can only heal twice if he wants to combo here.
Yeah, and then we also run into a familiar problem from last game, having the Paul in your hand and,
Yeah,
and no
don't
yellow.
have any way of getting rid of that, so... Alright, it does look like a solid turn for combo. Ooh, sorry, was that less stock than I thought it was?
I think Jose might be out all 8. Yeah.
Yes, I believe so. So,
I'm going to take a peek at those last 2 cards.
I wonder what it is.
I think I might have seen a climax on the top card of those 2.
I think it was.
Although we only
climax.
saw just a very slight sliver of that card.
Well, guess we'll find out. But anyhow, I think it's going to be... I don't think it's going to be particularly important information here, as regardless of the way that Jose attacks, I think each attack is just going to be for 2 damage anyway.
So interesting that we're seeing the Migurdia pendant coming out here at level 3, as you aren't able to get that second half of the value, but I do think that it's pretty important to get through this deck state. So I believe it was an 8-card deck, and we're going to be using the Brainstorm to get rid of 4 of those, the pendant to get rid of 1, and then these last 3 attacks are just going to get rid of the rest of the deck.
Pause. This might be the 3rd or 4th time he's attacking in the wrong order and with the wrong things. Your only hope here is to really like combo, double combo on my turn, or try to triple combo, because you already have 2 out. You already know that I play Flare, and all I have to do here, because I'm about to refresh, all I have to do here is hit on my Brainstorm or use or draw into the 2-1 event, and now you don't have a climax. Now you don't have a level 3 combo anymore. So, very important. And you know the top of my card is a cancel. So if you know that, why are you attacking there with a 2 soul? Explain this to me. Why not save your level 3 combo, put it in the back row, put the Roxy in front of one of the Okayus, swing with the Roxy first, because you know I'm gonna cancel. You don't mind a 1 soul cancel. Who cares? It's a 1 soul cancel. So you know that's gonna cancel. Then you swing with a 2 soul, right? Your 2 soul may or may not cancel, but you're pushing 2, right? So you do it that way, and you're pushing 2-2 on the other 2 lanes instead of 2-2-2. You're pushing 2-2-2 right now. The first one, you know that's not going to cancel, so you might as well attack with the 1 soul anyways. And you're not losing any potential damage here. You're still on the same ceiling as far as damage is concerned. The only difference here is that you know that I run a card that says I can get over your level 3 combos, and I play another card that says I can bounce. You don't even want to play with your food here. You just put one of your level 3s to the back just in case it gets answered, which you know I have answers for. So probably would have attacked here in a different order with different characters.
Get into that next deck rotation.
Yep. So that's a cancel, as we said earlier. Jose definitely knew that. That's another front for 2.
He knew that. Yeah.
So all of this damage,
Maybe he just forgot.
if it sticks, puts Walfrin at 2-6 when you take into account the refresh point, which is a prime position for Walfrin here very shortly.
Bit of a dilemma for Jose here, because on one hand he wants Warfrin to be in range for his
Well, he should know. He's gonna
next
trigger
turn,
clean
where
here
I
at least.
think Jose can't
And he should know
exactly reasonably expect to survive 2 more turns.
what the trigger is.
But
'cause
if he does
saw
too
his
much
deck.
damage, Warfrin just
saw what triggers
drops
he
his
had.
combo and tries to end the game from there. So quite tough in either scenario. Alright, so that's 2 and 5, which means that with any more damage sticking, Wolfram can
Oh,
hit
that was
level 3.
attack for 2, right? Yeah.
For 2, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
I was like,
Yeah,
wait,
yeah,
did
sorry,
I?
that
did
doesn't
I-
that doesn't compute. All right, so this one's also for 2, which means it cancels. Okay. All right, so Jose is probably
I
safe from
cancel
Marine
on
for this
2
turn,
anyways.
but it also means that Wolfram is kind of safe from, well, anything that Jose does next turn. Should he not hit himself too hard?
What did I do here?
All right.
All right, maybe if I can get the right card to show up, we can come back to this card. That is all right. It's broken again, I guess. So the card that I've been wanting to talk about this whole time, the level 0 Sora, I think is a very interesting pick. My theory is that it's included in the deck for more green. Her secondary effect is when your other Gen 0
Heal.
character is sent from
Okay.
stage to waiting room, you can pay 1 and sack the Sora in order to bring that character back to stage and give it 3,000 power until the end of the opponent's next turn, or until the end of the following turn
Yeah.
that the card was brought back. But there aren't
Play
very
like
many
that.
Gen 0 characters in this deck,
Get-
let alone
get the
ones that
owner
I
to
think
play
are
that,
very worth bringing back.
That gets
and
plus 4/5, no backup.
The
or
alternative
defense.
option for Salvage Brainstorms
Answer
in this
your
in
entire board.
Hololive would be the Matsuri level
Yep.
0. Another very popular card, but comes with the secondary effect where you can rest her to give one of your level 1 or higher characters 1,500 power, which I think would be very, very helpful in this particular matchup, allowing those Okayus to scale those higher numbers, get over these 1/1 heiresses. But instead, we have the Sora level 0 back row effect.
Yeah, it does seem to be a color fix issue, as this deck doesn't play any yellow cards over level 1.
Mhm.
So that seems to be the case. Anyhow, that's a Climax Slam, which is pretty good over here for Wolfram. If damage lands, well, great. If it doesn't land, well, it means that there's fewer cancels left in the deck that Jose can use to survive the Marine turn with. Right, so that's a trigger.
That was 2 gold bars just added to the hand.
Yep. So this
Okay. Those 2 gold bar I revealed. The Okayu revealed one from the top check 3, but I didn't add it to hand.
This is actually a big chance for Jose. He just needs to be able to find a way to deal additional damage, which I believe in his deck, aside from the level 3 combo, is the level 3 Eris early play, which has an ability some people would like to refer to as Horror Burn. So when it comes into play, you can reveal the top card of your deck, and if it is of a specified trait, you can deal 1 damage to your opponent. So it's a 2-soul character that deals 1 extra, which means that it has it puts 3 damage on the board. And looks like he wasn't able to draw a Climax, but he just drew into another copy of his level 0 Brainstorm, which means that if he has exactly the right cards on the top 2 cards of his deck, he might be able to...
Oh!
Okay. He doesn't have a character though, so he probably has to hit a Brainstorm now.
Well, he's got the pendant.
Oh,
we're gonna,
right,
We're gonna
okay,
see
okay. Yeah,
another level 3 pendant.
Wow, alright. That's not usual, but it's a play.
If
and
it
definitely
works, it works.
Yep. Alright, so that puts 4 damage on the board. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So there's currently 7 on the board, and unfortunately for Jose, Wolfram is on 2 and 3. So he needs to hit 4 triggers, which I don't think is possible in this deck. But it can. Oh, sorry, it is because of the
possible.
Twin Grave. The Twin Drive can give 4. Ideally, he'd be able to play another 2-soul character, but I believe there weren't any in his hand.
The Paul's still in the hand, right? And there is yellow now.
There is yellow. Oh, okay. So that's 3 triggers that he needs to do, plus pulls another instance of Twin Drive. So, okay, looks like... Oh, he's not playing Paul, okay.
Maybe I didn't quite catch which card was discarded in order to... Oh, wait, no. The pendant was just in the hand already, so there was no discard to grab the pendant.
Yeah.
What was discarded for the Brainstorm? Because with the Brainstorm, you draw 1 card, discard a card.
Another copy of the Brainstorm, I
Don't
think.
recall. Well,
Okay. I'm not sure what's going on here. So, I think he's just giving up here, or he just knows he's too far behind, because not the correct order I would attack with here. So I'm pretty sure he gave the Twin Drive to the Brainstorm, the Elf Girl. So wouldn't the better play be to twin drive with the elf girl, then attack with your climax combo if you trigger a standby, and then your Ghislaine, because if you trigger either in your center lane or with the level 2 Ghislaine, you can standby over the elf girl. Yeah, it's what I would have done, probably.
All right, we're just going to want to see
we
some
can say.
triggers here.
All right, that's the trigger.
Do you really want to see triggers here, though, to increase my chances of canceling?
That is unfortunately
unfortunate for
missed chance.
Yeah.
And we're going to go into these last couple attacks. Unfortunately, no lethal potential out of these.
Yep. Right. And that is for, I believe, 11k?
Yes. Honestly, I think maybe the best outcome for Jose is Walfrin cancels again. But that is not the case. I think
that is not the case, yeah.
if he canceled again, it would put Walfrin in a position where he needs to get like Aqua level 0 in order to boost himself up to level 3 and be able to play at most 2 Marines because of the 3 stock remaining. But we are going to level 3. I think actually maybe multiple copies of Marine, like probably like 3 of them are out already. Either
yeah, there's 2 in the waiting room, which is just pulled out. There seems to be 2
looks
in
like
hand,
the other 2 in hand.
which is kind of all you need at this
Oh,
point.
and Climax already in hand.
Yep. And looks like Jose needs to cancel every single instance of damage this turn.
Yeah, this is going to be a quintuple lethal.
Yep.
First, we're going to be using that 2-1 event. I don't feel like this is totally necessary unless the level 0 Kanata is an available option.
Yeah. The level 0 Kanata being the card that can put, is it up to 2 cards from the hand to stock?
Yes.
On play. So yeah, with enough hand, Wolfriend can turn his excess hand into stock so he can go triple Marine.
That's true.
But I believe that might be something he needs to dig out. Alright, he's looking at 2 cards. I wasn't quite sure what he added there.
Oh, the Kanata's already in hand.
I think that might have been what... Yeah. So it looks like he can go triple. At least put 3 on the board if he wants to.
Yeah, this Kanata is a fantastic option for
right now.
for this.
That's exactly what he needs. And you can send it to the waiting room and
just use it as cost for Marine.
Cost for Marine.
Oh, this is looking like a 6 lethals angle right here.
Yep, which I don't think Jose has enough to cancel with.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Jose is already out 3 in the waiting room and 1 in stock that was just triggered.
Yep. There's definitely 1 in stock, and I believe there's that many in waiting room as well.
So I made a little mistake here, and for context, there's a judge, watching these last couple turns, because he prompted us to call time and turns, so we are in turns. So he is so I should have gone for the 3rd card here, but I went a little autopilot here, and I usually stop at 2 with Marine when I should have gone to 3 here, and I realized too late. And when I realized there was like a judge hovering over us, so I'm like, okay, I need to finish this turn. I need to just finish this game. And I forgot to go to 3.
We will see.
And by the time I realized it, I'm like, oh.
I think this is a pretty convincing win turn for Wolfriend here.
Yeah,
but
I think next Wolfriend is just deciding which character wants to get sacrificed to play this final Marine. So the most useless card in the hand or on the board right now that you could sacrifice with the Marine is probably, I was going to say, the level 0 Toa, but by placing it on stage, I believe I saw a Climax that was put into stock by the 2nd Marine.
You are right, Randall.
This means that Climax will not be paid out. Under normal circumstances, that could potentially be an issue, but given that this is a very much lethal turn.
Yeah.
I don't think it's too much of a problem.
The only way I can see Jose winning here is if Wolfern attacks into the pool first, burns 2, Jose, and then... Oh wait, that doesn't work because you need...
Yeah, that's not happening.
Only activates the first time each turn, sorry.
Mm.
So if for whatever
Oh.
reason Wolfern doesn't use the burn 2, and then he triggers and then Jose cancels 4, mills a card with a soul icon, then discards into 4 lands, then he can win, but realistically that's not happening. So I think that's just going to be a game. Wait, 2 cancels from now.
We're going to see Jose cancel as much as he possibly can.
Yep.
In the meantime, but we are going to see these level 3 Marines. Very, very powerful card. So on Climax combo, on attack, you pay 1, discard 1 Hololive character from your hand in order to deal 2 damage and gain
GG.
3,000 power?
Yeah, the 3,000 power is a bit strange. Like, it feels like it's a lot of a bonus to get on such a cheap cost. Like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna stop the video there. You know, shoutouts to Bushi's staff, the commentators, my opponent. You know, better late than never, right? I was expecting this VOD to go up sometime mid December. You know, but they came out with it. So appreciate you, Bushi Matt, or whoever's in charge of this stuff. The stream went really well, but you know, just usually takes Bushiroad extra time for them to upload the VODs. It's not even out on Twitch yet, so hopefully everything okay on their side. Thank you guys for watching.